Looking over hours of testimony, more than 100 exhibits of evidence, and coming to a guilty verdict on counts 1 through 3 for second-degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and child cruelty pertaining to Orrin, and counts 6 through 7 for child cruelty pertaining to Orson and false reporting of an emergency. On the conspiracy and murder charge pertaining to Orson, the jury was deadlocked.
Is there anything further, any clarification of the law, further argument from counsel, anything that any juror believes would be of assistance in regard to reaching a verdict as to those 2 counts? Was there number 1?
No, Your Honor.
Orrin and Orson were reported missing on December 21st, 2020. The prosecution in the trial arguing that the couple reported the boys missing at the time to cover up that they had been dead for months. The defense arguing that authorities overlooked details and only looked at Trezell and Jacqueline as suspects. Experts following the trial say that this case was no easy challenge for either side or the jurors.
Any witness is subject to being led down a road for the police officers to steer them in a certain direction. Kids are more likely to be steered, we would think in general, than adults would be, but the prosecutor obviously was able to handle those questions.
As the trial comes to an end, family and community members say a weight has been lifted.
I'll finally get to close my eyes and know that justice has been served.
But the story doesn't end there, because the question, where are the boys, still remains.
We still got to keep their faces out there no matter what.
And for those involved, they won't give up until they have an answer.
Tell us where the bodies are now. Give the bio parents and the foster mom and everybody else closure.
And the couple is facing up to life in prison for the second-degree murder as well as the child cruelty charges. They're scheduled to be sentenced on July 13th at 8:30 a.m. And as we just heard, the community not done with this case yet. It's been an emotional journey for them. We'll send things over to 23 ABC's Brianna Willis with a look at the reaction to today's verdict. Yeah, Veronica, today's verdict has been a long time coming for family members and people in the community who have been following this case since the beginning. Many of them sitting through the entire trial, hoping for the verdict read today. But they say the work does not stop here.
Today was a day that we all been waiting for, and to get 5 guilty counts says a lot.
While Trezell and Jacqueline West were not found guilty on every count, community supporters say the counts they do face are enough.
It's been far too long for the biological family to not know what happened, what didn't happen, and where their babies are. And I think today was a perfect day for them to find these people guilty.
Laura Vasquez and Selena Quar have followed this trial as they are adoptive parents themselves.
Devastating, it was nerve-wracking, it was almost like anxiety, waiting to hear the evidence they had against these people.
They say sitting through the testimony of the West children really tugged at their heartstrings.
Children, when it came to them testifying, it was so sad, but at the same time we were able to see their weight difference from them being with their biological parents to them being in protective custody and in foster care, however their situation is working.
Supporter Jennifer Nobles agrees and says now those children will likely remember this forever.
I feel sad still, because there's other innocent children out in that they've left, from doing something so horrible like this.
And biological family member Rosanna Wills says she feels for the children, but says she's glad the West parents will have to pay for what they did.
It's sad because they put their own kids in this position to where they were trying to hide this from the beginning so they wouldn't be in this position.
As for Orrin and Orson, also known as Classic and Sincere Pettis,
somebody knows where these babies' bodies is.
Yes.
Somebody knows.
Wills adding the search will continue.
Keep their faces out there, Classic and Sincere. We love you and we will not stop till we bring you home, baby.
Supporters say they will continue to gather on the 21st of every month until the boys' bodies are found. Coming up at 6, we have more from community members about how today left them with bittersweet emotions. Live in downtown Bakersfield, Brianna Willis, 23 ABC News, connecting you.
Brianna, thanks so much. Now, this trial in the case of the West boys captivated Kern County for more than 2 years. We have been following every development since it began. I took a look back at this case and what led up to the jury reaching its verdict.
We're going through it
it's difficult.
It all started just before Christmas when both Orrin and Orson West were reported missing on December 21st of 2021 by their adoptive parents, Trezell and Jacqueline West. According to them, the boys were playing with chalk in the backyard of their California City home when they suddenly disappeared.
I opened up the back gate. I'm throwing wood, bringing it inside the house. My wife's inside. She was actually wrapping gifts, so we thought it was a good idea that our youngest two would go outside and play with chalk on the back patio. I realized that I left the gate open and I panicked.
Soon a massive search began with the FBI assisting the California City Police Department and the Kern County Sheriff's Office. The biological mother of the boys, Ryan Dean, became vocal following the boys' disappearance.
Did not like them. I could tell when visit. I could tell when my kids like someone or when they don't like someone.
However, at the time, there was no evidence or anything proving the Wests had committed any crime. The family of the boys coming together to help in the search. Several local businesses helping put together a reward for anyone who could provide clues on where the boys may be. That reward over time climbing to more than $120,000.
There's $125,000 on the line. Nobody's claimed it. Nobody spoke up. There's so many tips. Nothing.
The community also began holding monthly vigils asking for justice for the boys.
They will be found.
Then in March of 2022, after taking over the case, Bakersfield police arrested Trezell.